One of the things that I've heard recently about the church is that it's more worried about spending money on a building in order to have the biggest or the prettiest or the most amount of parking spaces or whatever that is than it is about feeding the hungry or serving the poor or any of a number of other underserved groups in America. And so while it is pointless to deny that that is happening in churches around America, I just want to point out that just like any other thing, not all churches are good or bad. But we've talked a little bit about this before, but many times what happens is people have an experience with a church that's positive, and therefore, because their experience has been positive, they think everything's positive. And vice versa, people have an experience with a church, many people call it church hurt, that's negative, and therefore all churches are bad, or all pastors are bad, or all church people are bad. And that's not true on either side of that story. And so we've gotten this question a lot since we've moved into our first building here at Passion Church. Recently, we've had a lot of people say, well, what's your priority? Are you changing priorities in ministry? Don't you think you're spending too much money on a meeting place? So on and so forth. And so I want to just let you know, not that I'm speaking for every church or every pastor out there, but why it was important for us to have a place to call home. The first was that as we were continuing on in our Sunday services, more and more people were gathering, and we outgrew very quickly the previous place that we worshiped at. And this was exposed to us because we kept hitting what's called a growth ceiling, and then we would bounce back down, and then we'd hit that ceiling and bounce back down. And so we had hit the growth ceiling at the place that we were, and we had many people that we wanted to reach, that we wanted to minister to. But one of the primary ways we do that is by having a place for them to worship both during the week and on the weekends, and we could not accommodate that there. The second thing is having a ministry base of operations is incredibly helpful, and honestly, it saves a ton of time and resources. For example, behind me, we're downstairs in my office hallway right now, and you can see we've got some different offices down here. We just finished painting this, but one of these rooms is the housing for our life pantry. And that is a place that people have donated TVs or coffee cups or jackets or school supplies or any sort of other life needs. That's why we call it the life pantry, that we can give out for free to our community. That's medical supplies, it's cold weather gear, it's rations, if you will, some light food, some non-perishable consumables, things like that. And in our previous configuration, we were spending hundreds of dollars every single month on climate-controlled storage units to house that. And now our mortgage payment is only slightly more than the amount of money we saved on storage and on using other office spaces, meeting out at other places. It's incredibly expensive to meet out for coffee or for food or for things like that. And so for us, a building having a base of operations actually saved us money every month. The third thing is this: when you have a place to rest your head, so to say, and to base your ministry out of, you can know your community better and serve them more. They also know where they can come to be served. So now that we have a home base that we're at every day during the week, we have midweek services now, we have small groups, we have Bible studies, all sorts of different events and things going on. People in our community, our hope is that gradually they will learn that they can come here for support, they can come here for prayer, to have tangible needs met. We've already have neighbors who'd had trees fall down in their driveway that we've helped them remove those. So it allows us to know our community better, to serve them out of. And the fourth and the final thing that I'll go over here, it's not an exhaustive list by any means, but as it gives us a platform to launch into bigger ministry spaces. It gives us a level of validity in people's minds. Now that we have a location, there are more places that will partner with us as we do ministry outside of our walls to reach more and more people in different grocery stores, different salvage discount stores, different things like that. Now that we have a location, they will say, hey, when you do these events or when you're out here, it brings a level of permanence, if you will, and a certain foundation that gives credibility to your ministry so that you can reach the surrounding area for the gospel. Now, we're still very focused on reaching outside of the church. The majority of our budget is not spent on our mortgage and or even making this place pretty. You can tell all we've done down here is slap a bunch of paint on the walls, and we're putting some LED lights in the ceilings just to brighten it up a little bit. So we're not trying to make it Disneyland by any means. And I'm not trying to defend pastors or other churches who are just being gaudy, or I don't know them, and so I can't speak for them. I'm just giving some insight into why we here at Passion Church did this in a few simple reasons.